Fresh off of just a crushing victory over enemy, I'm joined by Dominate. Dominate, not much to say about that game. Why, other than, I guess I can ask, why do you think it was such a one-sided game?
Just like the early dive. They went for an early dive. I got 2 kills on Rek'Sai, and then I don't know if Quas got another kill or Special got a kill. I think Special got the last kill and he got a double buff. So at that point, it's just it's over. Unless we play terrible, it's over. Even if we play even to them, then we just win. It's kind of like the same thing as the 5th game in playoffs when we were versus C9, and these killed 3 of us at level 1, and it's just all right, game. If it's a scrim, you remake. That's it.
Do you think? I mean, they didn't even surrender at 20 minutes. I think some people were expecting that. Why is it just maybe we can gain something from this, or why don't people surrender whenever that stuff happens?
I think it just looks really bad. People will just harp on you a ridiculous amount if you surrender. So I mean, they had a lot of wave clear, so it's kind of hard for us to push their base. They have Corki and Varus, so we kind of had to play it methodically to the point where we can just face roll, dive past everything and just kill them all. So I think they were just trying to stall out, oh, we can stall out, we got late game, you say that type of stuff, and then you just lose in 2 minutes.
Now, when that stuff happens, those early game advantages that are so clear, do you guys just sit back and relax and say, okay, that's game, let's just play this slow and win, or are you guys still sort of on the edge of your seat?
Well, you just take into account all the advantages you have. It's all right, so in that situation, their bot lane has no summoners. They're going to lane against a Kalista who's up 2 levels because he's just been solo the whole time. Yeah. And then I'm 2 levels up on their jungler because I just got a bunch of experience because I was around 3 people dying, so I can just get deep wards on him. He can't even fight me anymore, especially because it's Rek'Sai versus Gragas, and I've got a small early game advantage, and it's up to me to get ahead in the early game. And if I don't, then Gragas starts shitting on me. But if I do get ahead, then he just can't contest my wards or anything. So you just focus on all the advantages and just try to play as smart as possible. So yeah, you just play it the same way as every game, but in the back of your head, you know how big of an advantage you have, so you can just exploit that.
Now, we were talking a little bit before the interview, but what do you think of Trashy?
I think Trashy's really, really good. Super good. When I play him in solo queue, he's the solo queue god jungler of NA. Even better than Rush in NA solo queue. I mean, maybe Rush trolls a little more in NA solo queue, just doesn't try as hard as in Korea, but when I play against Trashy, I think he's just insanely good. He's also super young, he's 19 or something, so I think that he'll be a super good jungler. I'm actually really impressed with his play most of the time. It's just in a circumstance like that, he can't do anything. He can't do anything when he's that far behind. If I was in the same spot and we failed that dive, I'll be getting killed just as much. So yeah, I actually have a lot of respect for that guy.
Where do you think Trashy could end up among, assuming all the junglers stay the same, nothing changes, given enough time, where do you think he could be among, place him among all the NA junglers?
I could definitely see him being top 3 in a year's time, something like that. Especially because, I mean, who knows how long, the older pros would be around. I think Meteos will be around for a while. He's, a couple years younger than me. I'll probably play, another year or so, maybe 2 years. I have no idea at this point. You never know if Rush could get picked up by, a Korean team, so I could see him definitely being good. I mean, he definitely has, a lot of potential upside, and he's such, a young player. As soon as he gets comfortable on land, he gets that experience, he'll be awesome. Yeah.
Now, the other thing we were talking a little bit about is you mentioned that you talked to a lot of the EU pros. Is this the case?
Yeah, I speak with a lot of the EU junglers specifically, and then some of just the EU pros that I just have got their Skypes randomly Forgiven, and I've spoken a couple words to Forbidden, I guess that's kind of a tongue twister. Yeah. And then normally I'll just talk to their junglers and we'll kind of just discuss what we do, because the only time we play would be at Worlds, right, and things will have changed by then. So we kind of just compare and contrast. I know Svenskeren will just ask me what do you think about these champions? What are your setups? And then I've asked Rain over some questions about how he builds things, because he actually does really different rune pages than what people do over here. So I've been trying those out and just try to find out what's best for us. Yeah.
That's cool. Do you ever see them pick up anything that you do or anything like that? Or do they ever say hey, I tried this in a game this week and stomped with it?
I mean, I guess one of the things that people have been asking me about is W max Gragas, because in EU they max barrel first almost every game. I think Rainover said he didn't like doing it. He'd rather just max cube for whatever reason. But I mean, I remember he definitely tried it out. He thought it was interesting. So I'm not sure what exactly they've done. I know Svenskeren at times had different jungle priority than me, and we kind of just we would just talk about what he thought was better and stuff, and he would give me tips on his junglers. I mean, generally speaking, I've been like somebody that favors the Sejuani and stuff, and he favors like Nidalee, Lee Sin, like aggressive things like that. So we'll just discuss what we think is better, what situations would be good to pick these champions in, and then like in the game, like how much pressure you have over the other jungler, like how you can exploit it the best.
It's interesting stuff. Other than that, anything interesting going on behind the scenes at Team Liquid? I mean, it's sometimes hard for us to know, like what's until the next episode of Rebirth comes out. What the last week has been like for you guys?
Everything's been going fine. I mean, we've been scrimming, like winning most of our scrims versus Tip, losing most of our scrims versus TSM. Yeah. For some reason, always on the last day of the week we do well against TSM, but like the first day of scrims versus TSM is always like the biggest shit show like known to man. So. Yeah, we've just been scrimming, like hanging out. We went to this really good restaurant, California Roll Factory, I think it is. It's on Santa Monica. That place is beast, so we'll probably be going back there. Yeah, we've just been like hanging out, trying to practice a lot of League. Like this is crunch time, so the season we're just playing a lot, scrimming, just trying to like make the best of it.
You've been scrimming TSM all week, so maybe it's worth it to ask any predictions for the CLG TSM game. I feel like people should always bet on TSM at this point, but.
Yeah, I would predict TSM, but I mean CLG is always really good in the season, so I don't know how that'll play out. But yeah, I would say TSM if they show up and play well. In scrims they play really aggressive, but like for example in the C9 game that they played relatively passive. I was actually surprised by that. Like there was a bunch of situations where they could have taken fights when the Kog'Maw was weak and down 100 CS and they didn't. So I don't know if they're just getting used to playing on stage again or like something like that. And I know we had like the same problem last week too. So if they play comfortably and they play at their level, at their like highest level, I think they'll win.
Very good. Anything that you'd like to say to any of your fans out there?
Yeah, definitely. Thanks to all the fans that are supporting us. Hopefully we have a better regular season. We can get good standing going into the playoffs. And thank you to all of our sponsors, Razer, Quest, HyperX, HTC, and Alienware. Thanks again for the interview. Good to catch up with you and sort of see what's going on behind the scenes. For everyone else, you can check out the rest of our coverage of all things League of Legends at GameSpot.com/LOL.